Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you're joining us from in the world. Welcome to Open Up, our live talk show. My name's RJ Horner, and I'm the host of Open Up. I'm also the vice president of Voice of Men 360. Voice of Men 360 is a not for profit organization founded in Toronto, Canada in 2020. Voice of Men 360 was born out of seeing a tremendous need in helping to step up and provide services to help support our men and boys overcome their life challenges. We're part of International Men's Day, and International Men's Day has been serving for over 21 years so far and is now represented in 90 countries around the world who join together doing various activities. IMD follows 6 pillars which represent the overall well-being of boys and men, and we follow in those same footsteps here. Why is Open Up so important? Because we men are not willing to open up our hearts. We're not willing to share our matters with people. And when we keep our emotional challenges and struggles within ourselves for any long period of time, these can explode and cause ill health effects. We want to help eliminate that. That's why we want to create an open space and allow individuals to share their life journey through our platform. We aim to create awareness about life challenges, struggles, the overcomes, and the ups and downs that boys and men have to go through in their life. That's why we bring individuals to share their life journey with you, and there are no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups. All walks of life are invited to participate. Our goal is to make a positive impact on someone's life through this program. Open Up is on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, where we bring individuals to show and share their life stories with you to help learn from their experiences. Before I introduce our guest, I want to remind you that Voice of Men 360's mission is always delivered with good faith towards peaceful harmony. The views and opinions expressed in today's video are those of our speakers and not representative of Voice of Men 360. Our organization engages in discussion forums to offer inspiration and create awareness to the issues of men who wish to overcome their life challenges. We're not providing medical or therapeutic advice. Should you require that type of assistance, we recommend you reach out to a medical professional immediately. If you have questions or concerns about today's episode or any Voice of Men 360 content, please email us info@voiceofmen360.com. So our special guest today is Ola Akinwe. Ola Akinwe is a philanthropreneur. I love that term. He's a literary activist, author, and boys child social revolutionist. He's the founder of Boys Mentoring Advocacy Network, B-Man, a registered NGO offering mentoring, training, coaching, support system, success development programs to guide boys and adolescent males on their journey to a healthy, caring, respectful, and responsible manhood. He's been passionately equipping, inspiring, and teaching young minds to love, learn, live, and leave a legacy of an exemplary life since 2007. Ola is a Nigeria coordinator, International Men's Day, and Nigeria coordinator, Word Day of the Boy Child, also associated with Voice of Men 360. Ola currently serves the Nigeria Executive Fathers and Family Coalition of America. Welcome, Ola Akinwe, to Open Up. Thank you for joining us and being willing to share your life journey with us on this morning.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. It's my pleasure to be with you, and I'm glad to be part of Voice of Men 360. So I look forward to an exciting time with you and everyone.
Mm-hmm. So you've had vast experience in helping boys become men. I love that. I'm looking forward to getting your experience today. But take us back as early as you can. Tell us about the young boy Ola who maybe decided to become this man of advocacy.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. I came from the traditional Africa polygamy sector. My dad has 17 children, and my mom is the second wife, and I happen to be the second son from my mother to my father. So, growing up as a boy, I realized that I came from that background where you don't really share your dad every day. My dad was not with me every day, and quite a concern such that he he was alcoholic. So my dad is this man that you just found somehow, someday he's drunk. So I never liked that kind of lifestyle. I remember when I was in I think, eighth or ninth grade, while going to school, he was drunk and he fell inside the gutter. And my classmate has to call me and point at where my father was. And that was like embarrassing. And that gave a kind of a stigma to me among my classmates then. And so growing up as a boy, I never had a good example from my father. But something happened. While I was about to go into the middle school, I was taken out from my village to live with my dad's uncle, who then was the district education officer. And as a young boy, when I got there, I saw a different family orientation and setup, which was way different from what I experienced back in the village. And it gave me kind of a different direction in life. So I was with them for like 3, 4 years before I moved to the boarding school. And from the boarding school, I kind of like live a good life with my friends. I happens to be even while I was in the secondary school, I was a mentor to my junior students. They see me as someone who has this
Ola, are we still? We
who
seem to.
has this.
Okay.
Sometimes sometimes I need to give them counsel. They come to me. But in the journey of life, you always have different hurdles. So by the time I was in grade 11, I think my parents got separated, and that affected my my life in a serious emotional way. It becomes like a trauma for me at that time. So growing up as a boy, I would say I was guided just within the first 2 or 3 years in my middle school. That is where I got the example that informed me that look, there is a need for us to develop ourselves to become good men who will be useful to the society.
Absolutely. So do me a favor if you could describe what it's like for a young boy. You mentioned that you had the opportunity to go to middle school, but because you moved in with your uncle who had access, so does every child have access to education?
Eh, I would say no, because education in Africa is there is the general education, and there's this education that gives its worth. Because what you mean by education is you go to school and you are being taught and you are taught properly. There are a lot of students or pupils that they are just going to school. They don't learn. It's still common in Africa, especially in Nigeria. Some of our public school system, everyone can go to school. I mean today, but in our days, you have strict supervisions from the educational district and all of that. Not unlike what we have today. So it's not every child as a then had the opportunity to go to school. And maybe I should let you know. Sometimes you have to trek like 6 to 7 kilometers before you get to school every morning and you go back, depending on where you live. So not many people had that chance because I remember the middle school I attended was one of the best at that time. So it's not everyone that really gets to be enrolled into that school and listed for admission. So I would say every child has that opportunity. And up to now, it is not every child here in Africa or in Nigeria that is attending school on a daily basis. I work with boys. It's even worse these days because as I speak with you right now, if you look at the statistics and index, you'll find out in Nigeria there are well over 15 million out of school children. And a large percentage of these out of school children are boys.
So, and what are these boys doing, if you don't mind? Are they working? Are they playing in the streets? What are these boys doing that they're not going to school?
Right, yeah, some stay with their parents, some they are on the street. And that brings me to my next dialogue, which we are exploring for the Boys Future Boys Challenge coming up September 11th. You know, majority of these boys are neglected, abandoned, and they are not given the psychological nourishment and the positive interventions that is required for them to thrive or become part of positive contributor in the society. So if you ask me, if I'm to tell you, most of these boys who dropped out of school are not going to school is because one, their parents cannot afford it, the private schools. Secondly, they are neglected, they are abandoned, and there's no one taking care of them. And that's what we are trying to do at BMAN to create safe places for them, for some of them to go back to school and all of that. Probably maybe in the course of this discussion, I will still share more light on a lot of boys who we are trying to help right now.
Absolutely. It seems like there's not only a concern for what's going on, but a need to find a solution. And you are not only an advocate, but you take things in your own initiative. You created this program called the Boys Mentoring Advocacy Network. I just learned you call it B-Man. What a name! I love it. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, good. You know, I've worked in the educational system for close to 2 decades here in Africa, both the elementary and the secondary. In 2007, I became a pioneering school administrator of a private school in Lagos. By 2015, I am also became a pioneering administrator of a secondary school in Lagos, Nigeria, a private school. But let me back it down to 2007 when I was the administrator of a primary school in Lagos. Uh, I was looking for ways where I can really teach pupils what is different from the school curriculum. And I remember I went to get a book authored by Jack Canfield. Initially, when I was going to get this book, I just want to bring the book for you to see. Sorry, when I was going to get this book, when I got to the bookshop, I saw it and I wanted to get it in 207. But quite not really, I was not fortunate enough to buy it at a go. So I needed to save my lunch for 2 weeks to buy this book. After done reading the book during the weekend, I got a page where Jack Canfield, I've said this before, requested his readers, says, help us start a movement. I think that is in the principle 62 or thereabouts in the book. And after, I think it's a principle in the book, though. So after reading, I asked myself, how can I create a movement from this book? So that year, I launched Success for Kids Seminars, S4KS. And I was bringing children from ages 7 to 13 for weekly classes, sharing each of the chapter principles with them. So this I was doing till about 2017. But like I said, in 2015, I moved to the secondary school. And there in the secondary school, I was the admission officer. So on a certain day, they brought this boy to school for enrollment into school. So I asked the mother what happened. I said, my son have not been going to school for some years because the dad has lost his job. And as a matter of fact, the the dad has been away from home, so he hasn't been very much around. Uh, After much complaint and stories and all of that, I decided to enroll this boy into school without a penny from the parent. And I told them, okay, whatever it is that is my remuneration from the system, the school, I will take care of the boy. But they should try as much as possible to make certain payment, of which it took them time before they could bring just a peanut out of it. But I was interested in the boy. So 2 weeks after being enrolled into school, admitted into his class, he was caught to have stolen from his classmates. And that is an automatic expulsion for any child who does that or any student who does that.
Sure.
I was a little bit touched and really concerned. So I called the parent to come to me, and the mother was the first to arrive in my office. Not too long, the father arrived. And right there, the father went on his knees and he said, my brother, my son had not stolen, I have stolen. Oh, that was shocking to me. So, this, what do we do? The law of the school says any child caught stealing has to be expelled. So, after much crying, the wife pleading, and all of that, okay, I told him that, okay, I will consider a 2 week suspension for your son. But in the course of this, we agreed on he will come to meet with me. I will be doing some counseling with him and all of that. So in the course of that 2 weeks, I asked myself, what really went wrong with this young boy? Of a truth, I got to know that this boy had attended one of the best schools before coming to me, and in his early elementary school, he probably went to the best of schools where some of governors had their children, because the father then was the middle manager with one of the major telecom company here in Nigeria, but he was laid off because of retrenchment or challenges in the organization. So he couldn't cope with that standard of life. Imagine a boy who had a good meal in the morning, good beverages, all of the things you can think about at
Right.
that early age. And all of a sudden, this just disappeared from the table. He couldn't have access to the quality of life he was used to. And nobody could explain that to him why this is happening. So while he dropped off school, he mixed up or mixes up with other boys who was able to, was able to be influenced to join the gangs and all of that. So I got myself thinking, what happens if there were positive male role models at the time the father left the house that could create a safe place for boys like that, and they become developed, excuse me, in such a way that he won't lose that kind of uh, needed adult or positive adult support that will guide him to become healthy, responsible, compassionate. So by the time the 2 weeks was over, I had to call a meeting with his classmates, and I explained to them the kind of life he had lived, he had enjoyed when he was a young boy, and now this has been deprived of him, and this is what has caused him to, excuse me, to still having mixed up with other boys within certain environmental conditions. So at the end of his 2 week suspension, he was reunited with his classmate, and I put up a letter to the parents that, look, I'm starting up a boys mentoring classes for all the boys who don't have fathers at home, we'll be meeting every Friday. And when we started every Friday, that was in November 2017. I bought a book for all of them titled "Failing Forward" by by John Maxwell. So we used that book entirely in the month of November for our first mentoring class. So that was given to them absolutely free, about 25 of them thereabout. So from there on, we start having these weekly classes for boys, and it started growing, and that's what become Boys Mentoring Advocacy Network.
Beautiful. I love the story. I love how deep you got involved in that. You certainly showed people where this came from, and it certainly seems to have a valuable program. So tell us again, because I want people to see how they could start up the same kind of thing. You took the initiative. How was it? Getting the classroom, paying for the classes, that sort of thing. How were you able to set this up?
Initially it wasn't easy here in Africa because, to be honest with you, you have to be sold out for such a mission. It's not something you just wake up and say you want to do, and you're just going to go on. Initially, when I started, I reached out, number one, to Boys to Men Mentoring Network in the US. I wanted to see how they've been able to be in the boys mentoring uh, organization for years, and good enough, they got back to me and they gave me a start. In fairness to them, I was having access to their curriculum, and I have a monthly seminar with them. Then, secondly, what you need to start is the mindset. Mindset is the first thing, because you have to know that you want to be a generative adult. That's what you want to be. That's the assignment. And I'll put it this way: if you want to live for a year, you can plant a corn. If you want to live for 10 years, you could plant a tree. But this says if you want to live, uh, you are planning for years, you have to educate people. Mentoring is the highest form of education that you can ever find. So when you are coming into the mentoring sector, it means you want to provide the highest form of education. So you must live up to your expectations. You must live up to people trusting you. You must live up to people believing in your cause. And you don't fail the boys, because one thing is that they won't open up to you if they don't trust you. That's one thing about boys, which I've learned over the years. For them to open up to you, you must find a point where you connect with each other. You are interested in what is going on. As I complete this meeting with you, I have a boys class I'm going to attend, which is called Solve It Right. It's a mathematics intervention class for boys in the community. Every Sunday we meet between 3 to 5. And now the classes is good. The class is running as I speak with you. But if you don't, I will share the story with you about Solve It Right someday, or maybe in the course of this conversation, it might come up. So the first thing, like I said initially, you must be dedicated to the cause. You must find that you must like the fact that you want to see this boy turn out to become great men. One of the things that have challenged me over the years that is really creating this kind of burning desire for me is the story in the Bible about when God was about to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. If you are a Christian, you will know the story a little. God was looking for a certain number of men, and if he could find them, he's going to spare the entire city. But after much negotiations with Abraham and all of that, okay, can I even find 10 men? But God cannot find. So the issue is this: if good men were scarce, or the production of good men were very scarce in ancient times, it makes these days to be much of scarcity in our age. So the work is, I want to go into the production of good men. And the truth is this: I will say, if there are no good men in the society, I don't know how the society is going to be glued together. Because I can say from maybe inference, or maybe what I deduce from the negotiation between God and Abraham, is that God could have said, okay, go and look for 10 women or 10 girls, or but he didn't say go look for 10 women, 10 girls. Say go look for 10 men, good men in the society. So those that will drive the society or that will make it sane, they are good men. And if you look at it from this point of view, if I may say, now the boy is the only raw material that God and the society can use to produce a man. That's the only raw material. And if you use the illustration of maybe producing certain product that will meet the standard in for the consumers in the market. Now, at every production stages or chains of production, you have supervisors, you have evaluators, so that when it gets to the final produce, it meets the standard for which this product is going to the consumer. Now, if we use that analogy in the developmental process of the boy, it means at every stage of development for the boy child, there must be positive developmental evaluators, supervisors that will guide them to become
Yes.
the good men the society really needs. And if you look at the word mentorship, you break it into three. You have MEN, that's men. TOR, let's say it's a top. The SHIP, that is the chip. The shape, you have men touring these boys to a destination. So when men are not there, good men are not there available to take them on a tour that will take them to their destinations, what happens? Mishap.
Mm. Yep. Hope we haven't lost him. It's probably
The sheep
just
for me,
oh, there
as
you
I
go.
speak with you, there's a need for us to produce good men for the society.
Mhm.
And that's what we do at BMI. That's what we are stood out to do.
Absolutely. And you've done a good job. We do the same thing here at Voice of Men 360 with Open Up. We are collecting a few good men to help us with our society. So, on that note, what can we do as a society to help our young boys and men on this journey?
RJ, number one, until we view our boys as a community asset and resources, and not as problems and liabilities, that is when we can begin to start to get our boys off the street.
Absolutely. And to put it to analogy, you talk about what we're putting into our boys and men, what we're investing into them. You know what? You think about it as mining. Are we mining coal based on are we putting dirt into them? Are we putting raw pressure? Or are we putting
Yeah,
quality pressure? Are we putting good information? And are we creating diamonds, right? Are we creating coal and diamonds? It comes out of the same resource, but what are we collecting?
absolutely. Absolutely. That's just it.
Yeah.
If boys don't learn, men won't know. It's as simple as that. We teach our girls to be managers, but we never teach our boys to manage. That's where the
Yes.
problem.
Absolutely. So, what can our men and boys, our young men, what can they do for themselves to empower their journey?
See,
Hope that's just a signal. We've still got him.
what can they journey to the best of example is what can lead them to their destinations. That's it. Then individually, they must, number one, understand that they must live a purposeful life. Let me share one thing with you, maybe as we wrap up. The first question you ask yourself is, why do I live? Or how do I live? I came up with this myself. If you cannot define why you live, LIVE, or how you live, it means you just here wondering. And in this journey of life, one thing I've found that all religion all over the world, they are trying to teach men is how to live. But I found the answer somehow. and I'm going to share that with you. You know, the first letter in the word live is L. For you to understand how to live, it begins with love for others. Love for me is like the sunshine that we see every time. It gives to everything on the face of the earth. And it never tells the earth you are owing me anything. So it begins with the genuine love for humanity and everything around you. That's the beginning of life. You must love others genuinely. And when I mean love, I mean love, the actions. Then number two in that letter is I. You must inspire others. I love the way Les Brown put it. He said, I aspire to inspire till I expire. So everyone must aspire to inspire others till you expire. And what does it mean to inspire? It means it's inspire. It means to breathe life into a dying situation. When you look around your community and something is dead or is about to go dying, your presence there should bring that thing back to life. And the next word is the V. You know, you must be valuable to others. You must value others and create values for others. That is what all organizations globally are doing. Your life here on earth is to create value and to add value to humanity. If you are not creating value or you are not adding value to humanity, you are a robber. You have come to rob the entire human race. And the E is to educate others. You must be there to educate people. Bring out the best potential in them. And what is education? Education is, you know, what brings you that economic self-sufficiency, you know. So you must teach people to be economically self-sufficient. You must bring out the best in them through education.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those are some wise thoughts.
Educate, make notice with them. And when you bring that to limelight, you know, in summary, to help your life, to help everyone is to live. Love others, inspire others, value others, create value, add value, and you will never be out of place. That's to become useful to yourself. And if you ask me, what is the definition of success? I'll simply tell you success is to be useful to somebody one time a day. Just find somebody be useful to that person. You are a successful person. So, and the E is you must educate. Thank you, RJ.
Oh, Ola Akinwe, thank you for joining and sharing your life journey with us today. You've shared so much with us. I do appreciate your courage and willingness to help other men by sharing your life struggles and challenges with us today. So I have a
Yeah,
few. Sorry, thank you.
yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
No, I just thank you again. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. And thanks to Sivan who brought this up. I really want to appreciate the voice of Men 360. Right now, I have about 1,250 boys that I want to train in mathematics so that they can live a better life. Appealing to everyone who can make a little donation. Is the campaign is on our website. It's on Giving Way. That would be just a little to help 1,200. It's just $20 for 6 months for them to participate in the maths class. This I
Wonderful.
want to collaborate with Voice of Men 360 in any way, in any capacity you can help. I have about 10 of them who we are providing scholarship opportunity for here in Africa. We're looking for opportunities to collaborate for helps. So this will be a great honor for us if you can help us get support from your end.
Great. And you said that's on your website, and I believe it's called Solve It Right Math Project.
Yeah, yeah, Solvit might say help us support 1,250.
Nice. Very nice. That's a great initiative. Thank you very much. So, a few announcements to end our show. As many Canadians know, our Indigenous communities are in big crisis now, and they need our help and support. Voice of
my
Men,
website and
Voice of Men 360 is stepping up and started a donation drive for Indigenous families. If you have any used clothes, dry items, dry food items, please let us know. We're working to collect them. And so please reach out to us via email info@voiceofmen360.org, or two phone numbers you can reach us at is 416-356-7414 or 437-889-8329. Once again, those numbers are 416-356-7414 or 437-889-8329. So we have some content for you going on in our programming. The first one you've participated on is Open Up. Thank you for participating today, where we had somebody share their life personal journey for experience towards others. This show is Wednesdays at 6 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Then we have a Tamil language live talk show on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. This one's called Vili, which means I. We also have a monthly webinar the first Saturday of every month, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We bring the organizations and their expertise to discuss their particular topic. We host a monthly special show called The Unspoken Tears. That takes place the second Saturday of every month from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The topic is domestic violence against men, bullying, male sexual abuse, and traumas, and human trafficking. Yes, these issues do exist, and we talk about them here. We also co-host a show with the All Bengal Men's Forum. This show is called the South Asian Men Show, and that one again is topics again facing South Asian men. And then we turn all of our content into podcast episodes. Please look for us for more on your favorite platform. And then we have some men's support groups for you. Every 2 weeks, Tuesday, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., we have a men's only support group, Men for Men. Please register through Zoom. The next one will be September 7th, and every 2 weeks after that. We have an Indigenous peer-to-peer support group. We call this one Pass the Talking Stick. That takes place the fourth Friday of every month from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. through Zoom. There are no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups with participating in our platforms. All walks of life are invited to participate. If you want to be a guest on any of our shows, or if you're willing to be a part of our organization and help us, whether directly or indirectly, please reach out to us. We're looking to work with individuals, professionals, experts, NGOs, community organizations, government officials, and more. Again, our phone number is 437-889-8329. You can email us info@voiceofmen360.org, which makes our website www.voiceofmen360.org or voiceofmen360.com or voiceofmen360.ca. Please reach out to us for more. You can find us on all social media platforms: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more from our YouTube channel. Again, we are Voice of Men 360. So find us on Facebook.com/groups/Voice of Men 360. We want to reach out and help more people and be more value. Please continue your support. Thank you for being here today. Until next time, I'm Vice President of Voice of Men 360, RJ Horner, asking you to open up.